Hi everyone, this is Dr. Neeta and I welcome you all to phase 6 presentation. Now today's topic is nutrition. So let's begin with, actually it's a part of phase number 7. Within phase number 6 we have actually added it. So our topic today's presentation topic is, now let's begin with what is nutrition. Nutrition is the science of practice of materials required by organisms and cells to stay alive. Now, our human body is made up of cells. Now, these cells actually need nutrients to stay alive. Now, let's see what is the cell is. The cell is actually this has come from the Latin word cella. Cella means small rooms. In the basic structural, functional, and biological unit of all known organisms, a cell is the smallest unit of life. Cells are often called the building blocks of life. Cell in biology, the basic membrane found a bound unit that contains the fundamental molecules of life and of which all living things are composed. These cells cooperate with other specialized cells and become the building block of large multicellular organisms such as human and other animal. Now, how important this cell is? The whole human body is made up of cell. Each and every organ of our body is also made up of cell. Now that organ functions well means whatever cells are working for that organ is functions well, and that's why that organ is performing the particular operation or task given to that. For example, heart has got the particular task of purification of blood, so it's continuously do pumping of the blood. Kidney has got some task, liver has got some task, so every organ has to perform certain kind of functions in the body, and who exactly working for those functions is whatever cells are present within that organ that actually works for a normal functioning of that particular organ. Now you might be knowing there are few medical treatments wherein there is one treatment of embryonic cord. Now whenever the baby birth happened, at that moment of time whatever embryo he was connected to the mother, that embryo actually kept in such a temperature that all the cells within that embryo remain alive. Now whatever DNA is present within your body, whatever cells actually whatever genes your body is made up of, all those cells that are present within that embryonic cord, and what happens is in this particular treatment, if in future life if you got any major disease, what happens exactly whenever any particular disease your body get infected with, means what, the regular functioning of that particular organ get felt because of some problem, and that some problem is that cells are not working properly. Whatever task has been given to that cells, now that is not getting performed properly because now that cells are dead cells, and that's why actually they are not capable of performing whatever task has been actually given to them. So in this treatment what happens is whenever this kind of problem occurs, at that moment of time they replace those dead cells with the injection of new cells whichever are present within that embryonic cord, and again they regenerates and start functioning from scrap, and actually they again built up the whole organ, and they give that strength to that organ, and that is how again that particular organ functions well. And that is how actually the cells are so important for our body. Now these cells need some kind of food to stay alive, and that food is nothing but nutrients. So these nutrients, now we will see, now in this ppt, in this particular slide we have seen just a definition of nutrition and cell and function of cells. Now we will see about nutrients, nutritions. So what is nutrient? Nutrient is molecule in food that all organism needs to make energy, grow, develop and reproduce. So all these functions actually nutrients perform. And these nutrients are of actually two main categories. They are divided into macronutrients and micronutrients. So for example, macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins and fats comes under the type of macronutrients, and vitamins, minerals comes under the category of micronutrients. So basically, as we have already seen that nutrients are majorly divided into two types, macro and micro. So in macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, fiber, proteins, water, all these type of things comes under macronutrients, and minerals and vitamins actually is the part of micronutrients. So actually per day we are having a requirement in macronutrients has been given gram per day, and micro has been given in milligram per day. So 4 carbohydrates we need per day, 4 kilocalories per gram, and fats 9 kilocalories per gram. Protein we require 4. Minerals and vitamins, actually we need water 0 calorie, alcohol 7 kilocalorie per gram. So this is one graph wherein what are our requirement of human body has been shown. So this is one triangle, food triangle, wherein we could actually get the idea. There are healthy source. So these are the 6 major nutrients which our body require. That is water, protein, minerals, carbohydrates, fats, and vitamins. And within this triangle, what is most needed and what is least needed, all these things are given. So of course we need bread, cereals, rice, pasta, all this kind of thing our body require the most. Fruits and vegetable after that, and after that no, fishes, egg, milk, all these yogurt and cheese, all these dairy products we need. And lastly, fat, oil and sweets is the least amount our body needs. So this is one of the triangle which is nutrient triangle, how our body is having the requirement of different nutrients. Now, there are some primary functions given of about each nutrients. Take the example water. First, main primary function of water is dissolves and carries nutrients, removes waste, and regulates body temperature. Protein, it builds new tissues, antibodies, enzymes, hormones, and other compounds. Carbohydrates, it provide, of course, energy. Fat provides long-term energy, insulation, and protection. Vitamin facilitates use of other nutrients involved in regulating growth and manufacturing hormones. Minerals help build bone and teeth, aid in muscle function and nervous system activity. Major all food contain nutrients, just like fruit juices, honey, breads. So different kind of nutrients we get from different food. So we get vitamin, mineral, protein, carbohydrates, all these kind of things actually we get from different kind of food. So major there are three different kind of nutrients, that is bodybuilding food is one type of nutrient, that is protein. Fats and carbohydrates comes under the energy giving food, and vitamins and mineral comes under the protective food. So these are the major three categories of food, that is bodybuilding food, energy giving food, and protected food, protecting food, that is protein, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins and minerals. So let's begin with nutrition and food requirement of preschool children from 1 to 6 years. The year between 1 to 6, this is growth, is generally slow in the first year of life, but from the second year, activity increases as the child becomes increasingly mobile. Development of a full dentition means that a set of teeth develops by this age with regards to their number and arrangement, so a variety of food can be safely eaten. Solid food can be introduced at around 2 years. There is an increased need of all nutrients, but the pattern of increase varies from different nutrients in different relation to their role in growth of specific tissues. Now, we all know that whenever a small baby grows, the first year's growth is very slow, and within that first year actually we are not giving any kind of solid food to the baby. Baby is mostly dependent on the milk, mostly milk getting from mother, or we may introduce water and outside milk after 6 months, but it is more cautious that we should actually in initial stages we should actually feed baby with mother milk only. Now whenever they are only on milk, at that moment of time the growth is very slow, but after that we need to introduce some solid foods also in the form of some purees or some juices, all this kind of thing, so that their development growth and development goes proper. Once the child gets the development of teeth, we can actually introduce some finger food which actually they can chew by taking in the hand, and they just play with it, and they can have something. So all these kind of things actually happens. So there are primary requirements at this year, because this is the growing year, and in the growing year if we didn't fulfill the needs of our body, which is actually required for the good healthy development of the body, then it will actually goes in the malnutrition, and the growth and development may not happen properly. So at this particular age we need to actually give them right food and right nutrients, which is actually required for the proper growth and development of the body tissues, muscles, and all the kind of physical growth requirement. Next, nutritional requirements. First is energy. Energy is required for growth and activity. Insufficient food will not only result in undernutrition in terms of inadequate weight gain, but will also hinder growth. The rate of growth fluctuates from one age to another. Till about 10 years of age, there is no difference in RDA, that is recommended dietary allowances, for boys and girls. Due to improper weaning practices, the child may not meet calorie and protein requirement and pave the way of PEM, that is protein energy malnutrition. Insufficient calorie intake can lead to protein deficiency. So of course we require energy. Energy requirement is of course for doing all the kind of different activities whatever we are doing for the growth and development. For everything we need energy, and when we actually get sufficient amount of food, and from that food if we get sufficient amount of nutrients, then automatically energy will be generated. There are few foods actually they may give energy, but they may not give nutrients, and there are fast foods. So actually from that we didn't get anything else other than the small amount of energy for the small amount of time. But the choice needs to be taken very carefully whenever the child growth happens in the growing year up to 10 years of time. The body's requirement is a high amount of all the different kind of nutrients, and the body should get actually all the amount of that nutrients, so that body should get sufficient amount of energy. Now, according to RDA, that is recommended dietary allowances, boys and girls, of course, they are having the similar kind of requirement in their daily food. And now they have talked about some winning practices, how exactly they are actually started getting food, and how they actually start intake of the solid food. All that comes under the winning practices that should actually needs fulfill the need of calories and proteins, whatever is the requirement actually for our body. So all these kind of things comes under energy. Now let's begin with the first nutrient, that is protein. The increase in the muscle mass accompanied by bone growth require positive nitrogen balance that is made by protein intake of 1.5 to 2 kg per 2 gram per kg body weight. Now you may do the calculation. If the person means per kg it's 2 gram, means for 10 kg it is 20 gram, and of course you may have the multiplication. So likewise our body requires proteins intake. The increase in total body size necessitates a larger vascular system to transport nutrients to the tissues and waste products away from the tissues, thus making demands for nutrients needed in blood formation like protein, iron, phyllosine, and peroxide. Bone growth also creates a need for protein. So protein assists in growth, repairs body cells. Found in animals, products such as meat and egg, protein are made up of amino acids. So these are the basic few benefits of protein. Now moving ahead with fats, another nutrition. So fat, we mainly find it in seed, olives, then avocado, olive oil, peanut butter, nuts, edamame, fatty fishes. So all these kind of things actually you will get ample amount of fats. So let's start with fats and minerals. So fat energy, including invisible fat for children, should be 25% of total energy, and essential fatty acids energy is 5 to 6%. Now we'll see mineral over here, but again we'll continue with fat in the upcoming slide. So mineral, calcium requirement of children is calculated on the basis of the amount of calcium accretion in the body. This deposition is not uniform throughout growing period, but would be relatively greater during early childhood and during adolescence than during the other periods of growth. Since all dietary calcium is not absorbed, 400 mg per day is prescribed, though the actual requirement may be less. Deficiency of calcium can affect the bone of growing children. Milk is the best source of calcium. Hence, the diet of preschool child should include 1 to 2 glasses of milk per day. Now, these are some important fats. In eggs, we can get fats, avocado, sardines, pistachios, walnuts, almonds, olive oil, nut butter. These are the very good sources of fat. Now moving ahead with mineral. Now nutrients in the food which is called as mineral is basically we get from calcium, iron, potassium, sodium, magnesium and zinc. So all these are the minerals which our body needs. So calcium, it is needed for the growth of healthy teeth and bones. We mainly get calcium from eggs, cheese, milk, breads. Iron, it is needed for the formation of red blood cells. Again from egg, bread, some spices, meat, we get iron. And of course there are requirement of potassium, sodium, magnesium and zinc to our body as a mineral nutrients of the. There are some different kind of types of mineral food, again that is calcium. So examples are given, you can see the diagram. Within that different kind of things you can find zinc, magnesium, iron, potassium. So these are from the picture itself we can identify how we can get these kind of things from different kind of sources are labeled. Now let's begin with vitamins. Vitamins. The incidence of vitamin A deficiency signs are high, and serum vitamin A levels are generally low among children whose dietary intake is less than 100 mcg. Deficiency of vitamin A in children can cause white spots, night blindness, or in severe cases, total blindness also. Milk, egg, carrots, and green leafy vegetables should be included in diet. So vitamin A is very important for our body, and if one can caught with the deficiency of vitamin A, they may caught with the white spots or night blindness. Now you must be knowing night blindness wherein after sunset one cannot see anything. and they may gradually become means it may get into total blindness also. So due to vitamin deficiency, all these kind of things happen. There are many things which actually can happen with the deficiency of vitamins. So we should have proper intake of all the different kind of vitamins which our body needs. So in vitamins, we find vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin F. So in from fresh fruits, we can get vitamin A from different kind of breads, and again few kinds of vegetables. We can get vitamin B. For vitamin C, whatever lemon, oranges, all citrus foods, we get vitamin C. For vitamin D, milk, bread, eggs, or cheese, fishes, all these are the good sources of vitamin D. And for vitamin F, good vegetables, leafy vegetables, then carrot, then a few fruits are also there, which are the good sources of vitamin F. So all these are the different kind of sources from which we can actually fulfill the requirement of different vitamins our body needs. Now we'll see a few of the benefits. So vitamin A is beneficial in treating eye disorders, skin infections. Vitamin B9, it reduces of neural tube defects during pregnancy. Vitamin B12 provides relief from symptoms of anemia, kidney and liver disorders. Vitamin C, it helps treat scurvy, cancer and common cold. Vitamin D aids in treating arthritis, tooth decay, diabetes, and rickets. Vitamin E improves blood circulation and slows down aging process. Vitamin K, it reduces risk of menstrual pain and internal bleeding. So these are few of the benefits of these vitamin intake within our body, and it helps regulating all these different kind of problems if you are facing. Now these are the dietary allowances for preschool children, that is RDA, recommended dietary allowances from age 1 to 6. Now from 1 to 3, weight requirement in kg is 12.2, and for 4 to 6 it must be 19 kg. For energy in calorie, for 1240 for 1 to 3 age group, and for 4 to 6 it's 1690. Protein requirement is 22 grams for 1 to 3 and 30 grams for 4 to 6. Fat requirement in grams, for 1 to 3 it is 25 and 4 to 6 it is 25. Again calcium in milligram, 400 milligram for both 1 to 3 and 4 to 6 age group. So according to RDA, these are the requirements for weight, energy, protein, fat, and calcium requirement as per the weight. So simple conclusion, whatever we have seen till now is our body is made up of cell. Cell needs nutrients to stay alive. Nutrients we can get from food we eat, and food helps us create energy. So you can see the cyclic thing, that body is made up of cell. Cell need nutrition. Nutrition we get from food, and from food we get energy. So it's a simple conclusion, whatever we have seen. Next is factors affecting nutritional status of children. Growth is influenced by nutrition. Frequent attack of infectious disease affects their growth and increase the requirement of various nutrients. Incidence of protein energy malnutrition, that is vitamin A deficiency, is very common. Repeated illness, especially the common illness such as diarrhea, measles, whooping cough and other respiratory infections are principal underlying causes of malnutrition. So these are few of the factors which are affecting the growth and may actually affect their health through some kind of deficiency and illnesses. So what are the food requirements? We'll see food requirement. Transition from infant diet to regular adult diet should be smooth and gradual. If solid foods have been gradually introduced before the age of 1 year, feeding the child should be no problem in the subsequent years. But some preschoolers are difficult eaters at time. The diet should be adequate in quantity and quality of different nutrients. In addition to the amount of milk recommended, the preschool child should have 2 small serving of protein rich food. When the child is about 18 months old, finger food such as carrot can be given. Proper elimination is usually maintained by a daily diet of fruit, vegetable, and whole grain products. Now, whenever it comes to the food requirement for the preschooler, of course, every mother is having that problem that children do not eat properly. Now, why this problem is, you need to understand their body requirement, why they don't want food, why they don't want to eat, because they are not hungry. So the thing is, we need to actually make them feel that hunger. If they are hungry, then they will definitely eat, and if they are not hungry, then of course they will not eat. So being a mother, you should always cautious about that you should give them whenever they need, not because you want to give them. So the first thing is, you need to give them some kind of choices or different kind of options whenever you are giving them food. Second thing, they get attracted with different kind of creative arts. So you may add up your creativity, your innovation in whatever kind of food you are actually preparing for them, and just make it such a creative masterpiece that they just love it. They just fall in love with that food and they just want to finish that platter like anything. So you may actually decorate it, you may use different kind of shapes, you may use different kind of colors within that. You may add up whatever kind of creativity actually being a mother you could add within that food, and give them different options so that they will love to eat it, because now they are not getting only one or two option, and that's why they are saying no. You don't actually give them those kind of reasons so that they will you need to actually follow them and run behind them for eating it. Rather, they should be followed to you, that what is new today. So these kind of thing, actually it needs to be adventurous, it needs to be so flexible that they should actually behind you, that mother, what's new today, what exactly you are creating today. There should be some animal pictures or shapes you need to use, some natural, whenever you are giving them some under fry for example. So there is a lot of scope in creating different shapes whenever you are actually frying eggs. Even in puris, chapatis, parathas, you can actually add up whatever different kind of things by giving them different shapes, by putting different kind of flavors, by adding colors. So all these kind of things you have to do whenever you have to fulfill their food requirements. So it's all about food requirements. That's it for today. Thank you very much.